So what we're going to be working on real quick now is we're going to be working with 3 techniques on using the Koppo. 1, 2, strike, strike. We use the word Koppo when we're talking about this particular self-defense tool because that's the term that we use with traditional Japanese martial arts. The common word that you see in the martial arts community is Kubotan. Kubotan just seems to be more of a common term for a weapon or a self-defense tool than the Koppo. We're dealing with traditional Japanese martial arts, specifically the martial arts of the ninja and samurai. Clearly, taijutsu and jujutsu and things like that play a big role. So being able to keep my hands open, I can grab onto someone's hand and force that into in various spots. It's going to create a lot more pain and still use jujutsu skills, taijutsu skills, things like that. I don't only have to use this as an impact or a force multiplier. I can use it in other ways through grappling and things like that. Miss Jocko, come on. Thank you, dear. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do this like a preemptive kind of thing, right? Generally speaking, wherever there's skin that's close to the bone does the most damage. Like if I take this and I just hit it right in the stomach, kunk, you know, that's not going to do as much damage as if I take the same force multiplier and I crack it right on the jaw. You know what I mean? Like that would cause way more damage, right? Or if I take this and I hit it right in the shoulder, like that isn't going to cause as much damage as if I take that and then jam it right on it. You know what I mean? That's going to cause a lot more damage. So generally when you're dealing with Koppo techniques or you're using the Kubotan for self-defense, you want to strike areas where the skin is thin and the bone is right underneath it. Asterisk to that is the throat, because anytime you're striking into that thing and jamming into a collarbone and all this, that's obviously very effective. So yes, anything in the head and neck, your goal. Those are going to be the primary targets, right? This technique that we're going to work on, she's going to be walking up with a threat, and I'm going to initiate. I'm going to use more like a preemptive strike. Whether you have one hand, two hand, it doesn't really matter. She walks up, I'm pushing her hand down, and as hard as you can, you stick this right there. Kick her back and call it good. We don't have to be very specific here, right? You know, people will say, hit this pressure point, hit that pressure point. We don't need to be that specific. If you're taking something that's this hard, and you're jamming it on her face, it is going to be effective. All right, second technique, come here, Mr. Eda. This was going to be instant grab. So the first one was someone coming up, making a threat, and you decided to end the threat before that threat became something physical. Right, this one is, they've already grabbed you. So let's come on this side real quick. So what we're going to be doing here, give me a grab. So, remember we just got done talking about that skin that's really close to the bone? And how if you're using the Koppo and you can open your hand with it still in there, you could do grappling techniques. Imagine that right there. That is a very effective. Hey, he gets a grab. You're going to strike into the hand and as hard as you can. Once you've moved their body, once you go their shoulder line moving forward, you're going to follow that with a second strike into the neck, using Oso Togorai to taking them down, and again strike them when you get them down to finish. Right, so real slow, he grabs, hurt, strike, take down, strike. 1, 2, strike, strike. Mr. Gage, you're up. We're doing technique number 3. On the third technique we're going to work, let's look off a 2-hand grab. So the first technique, again, preemptive strike. Second one was a 1-hand grab. This one's going to be a 2-hand grab. Good. Now, one thing I want to, before we do this, let me show you guys a really sensitive spot. When we do a technique called ude gatami, like you guys see it in Ritsuko Wazas, you know when you roll over and you see that right where that elbow is right there? You get these arm locks like that, you can jam in like that. That little elbow spot right there that we get a lot of these arm locks in, imagine that right there. That is very persuasive. Once he gets a 2-hand grab, the first thing we want to do is I want you to come over the top and you're going to do a double grab. That's going to be at the same time as you step back to sink your weight. You're going to jack this into the jaw as hard as you can to really, right there. Now once I strike there, I need to strike the bicep to get this hand off. Move into this way. I'm going to get here, pushing it down, right into position. Now I got my knee here. I can strike if needed. As soon as they grab, counter, step back, sink your weight, striking with the Koppo right into the jaw. Boom! You're going to keep that circle moving. Strike as you circle. Strike that off, right? Now as we strike this way, you're going to come underneath and pull down, pressing them in. See that spot? just like that.